So I now want to compare Rob Gronkowski to Travis Kelce. A lot of people are talking about Tom Brady versus Patrick Mahomes in Super Bowl 55, and rightfully so. But I don't think enough people are talking about the two tight ends in this matchup on both sides. You know, you got Rob Gronkowski on the side of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and you got Travis Kelce on the side of the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, in this game, I don't expect Rob Gronkowski to be a big focal point in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers game plan, just because he's not been a guy in that offense this year that's been featured really at any point. He's just been a veteran tight end that's reliable, that's good on third down at times, that's a really good blocker, and he's really a guy that Tampa Bay brought in for his leadership qualities. Meanwhile, Travis Kelce, I expect him to be heavily involved in the Kansas City Chiefs game plan just because he's a big part of their offense, and he's in the prime of his career. Rob Gronkowski, he's past his prime. Now, when it's all said and done, when Travis Kelce and Rob Gronkowski hang up the cleats and they're no longer playing football, I think that there might be an argument for both of them by the time both of their careers are over. There might be an argument for both those guys being the two greatest tight ends of all time. When you look at the Antonio Gates of the world, the Mike Dickens of the world, the Shannon Sharps of the world, the Tony Gonzalez of the world, I think by the time Rob Gronkowski and Travis Kelce have retired, they'll be somewhere in that conversation. Now, I want to kind of discuss Rob Gronkowski's sort of quote-unquote legacy as a tight end in the NFL. To me, Rob Gronkowski is the first ballot Hall of Famer. Now, when I actually went back and looked at the statistics for Rob Gronkowski, I was actually not all that impressed. In 10 seasons in the NFL, Rob Gronkowski has only had a 1,000-yard season 4 times during his 10-year career so far. Now, here's the thing about me. I'm one of those people that doesn't just rely on stats to evaluate players, because when I saw those numbers, I was actually shocked, because here's the thing. If you actually watched Rob Gronkowski when he was in his prime, when that guy was fully healthy on the field, he was a dominant force, and the stats do not tell the full story. We're talking about a 6'6", 270-pound grown man that was hard to bring down, super hard to tackle. He was not the greatest route runner. He was not the fastest player out there, but he would just bully people and out-physical guys, and he would make his presence known on the football field. He was great in the red zone, and he actually had really good hands as well. You know, he rarely dropped passes. Now, he also had a lot of great catches in the playoffs via Tom Brady. Tom Brady was throwing him the football, no doubt about it. And the thing about Rob Gronkowski is I think that his career is sort of not remembered probably the way it should be because of his injuries. Obviously, if you're not playing on the field every opportunity you can, then your numbers are going to, obviously take a hit, because if you're missing games, you obviously can't put up statistics. And that's one of the reasons why I think Rob Gronkowski's numbers aren't as good as some people might think, because, well, he was often banged up. And that's part of the reason why Rob Gronkowski was always banged up is because of the way he played. He was a super physical guy. He would take a lot of punishment, and at times he would have to miss games due to injury because he was such a physical player. So that's Rob Gronkowski to me. Rob Gronkowski is one of the best tight ends of all time, maybe arguably the greatest tight end of all time as far as what he brought to the table at his absolute best. Now, when you look at Travis Kelce to me is not quite in the conversation with the Rob Gronkowskis, with the Mike Dickens, with the Antonio Gates, with the Tony Gonzalez of the world quite yet, just because I think he's just starting to scratch the surface. Travis Kelce really started to burst onto the scene back in 2017, and ever since 2017, every single season he's gone over 1,000 yards. And Travis Kelce has really good hands, and he's really quick and subtle with his movements, and he's an excellent route runner. And he's more graceful in the way he plays the game of football, meaning he'll take those business decisions and run out of bounds if need be. He's not one of those guys that's always looking for contact, and he doesn't play a physical brand of football. Travis Kelce's more of your finesse tight end. He more so compares to a guy like Tony Gonzalez. Tony Gonzalez is obviously a little bit faster and better in his prime than Travis Kelce, but I think that you're going to start to see Travis Kelce pile up really, really good numbers throughout his career. And when we look back at Travis Kelce's career compared to Rob Gronkowski, he's going to blow Rob Gronkowski away in the statistics because Rob Gronkowski has 8,484 yards during his 10-year career as far as what he's accomplished in the regular season. Meanwhile, Travis Kelce, in 8 seasons, has 7,900 yards receiving. Okay, so Travis Kelce's already starting to put up Rob Gronkowski-type numbers because he's been able to stay healthy much more often. And I think the way Travis Kelce plays will allow him to put up better numbers than Rob Gronkowski because Travis Kelce isn't as physical as Gronk, and he'll be able to stay on the field a lot more often because he takes those business decisions, you know? And it does help that Travis Kelce is playing in the Kansas City Chiefs offense. He's being thrown the football. How do I say this? Patrick Mahomes is throwing him the football, and Tyreek Hill is also a super dynamic weapon in the Chiefs offense. So people pay attention to Tyreek Hill at times. That frees up Travis Kelce. So that's kind of how I feel about Rob Gronkowski and Travis Kelce. They're two polar opposites at the tight end position, but ultimately I could see Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill. What am I saying here? I could see Rob Gronkowski and Travis Kelce going down as arguably two of the greatest tight ends of all time when it's all said and done, no doubt about it. And another thing to think about is this. Rob Gronkowski and Travis Kelce were doubted back in college. Okay? Travis Kelce was a 3rd-round pick out of Cincinnati, and Rob Gronkowski was a 2nd-round pick out of Arizona. Both guys were overlooked in college, and now they're destroying opponents and defenders in the NFL. Travis Kelce and Rob Gronkowski are definitely a joy to watch. I can't wait to see what they bring to the table in Super Bowl 55. Buccaneers versus Chiefs should be a good one. And I'm definitely going to be keeping my eyes on not only Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady, but also Travis Kelce and Rob Gronkowski. They're two of the best tight ends I've ever seen play the game of football, no doubt about it. Thank you so much for watching this video today. Please also note that the Juice Alert Sports Podcast is not just a YouTube channel. It is available on all podcasting platforms, including Spotify, Google Podcasts, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this content with all your friends. This podcast is my favorite thing in the entire world right now. It is my passion. And I want more people to listen to this podcast. I really want this podcast to grow. Also, a fun fact about me is that I want to go into the sports broadcasting and media world once I graduate from the University of Toledo, a college in Northern Ohio. I am looking to become one of the next great sports broadcasters and analysts out in the world. And I potentially would like to start my own network if this podcast really truly grows. Or if I fall short of that goal, I would love to work for a big-time network like ESPN or Fox Sports 1. I am open to all networks. So if you believe in my dreams and you see or hear my passion through the screen, be sure to tell all your friends about the Juice Alert Sports Podcast. Stay motivated, you guys. Have a God-blessed day, and I'm out.